Julien, it's great to see you again. Thank you for coming back to a buildingSMART International Summit here in sunny Valencia. And I wonder what your impressions are so far of the event.
Well, thanks for having me first. I think that this event feels as a continuity to me because last year you invited me. It was the first buildingSMART for me, and we talked about digital twins. And I really felt that this year was like a continuation of that previous event in Rome. And last year we talked about those digital twins, and this year we're talking about the golden thread. And it feels so relevant and so connected to those points we discussed last year. And it's exciting to see also the change of perception from everybody in the rooms. Last year when we talked about digital twins, there was a bit of unknown, right? I mean, a bit of fear about those concepts that could be a bit difficult to approach for some of the people in the audience. And now we're talking about digital twins, and it feels natural. And this topic of the golden thread, which we've discussed, where we try to create that continuous data flow that is compounding and bringing all the tools and the processes and the stakeholders around the data that is created around an infrastructure digital asset is quite truly inspiring.
Yeah, I think we've really seen this maturing of our industry, that digital twins are becoming pervasive in the work that engineers do, that actually this is now fundamental to the work that is done on construction sites, in the development of engineering projects, and of course in operations and maintenance. And I think we're starting to see that in the industry, and it's remarkable actually when you think of the 12 months since you came back, that is becoming part of the conversation. It is no longer a buzzword. This is actually real engineering work, and the same as you say for golden thread, where actually these are information managers needing this information, good quality information, to make timely decisions on their infrastructure assets.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, and I think the joint work we're doing on establishing and showing the value of having open standards, and on our side in the software vendor group, trying to make sure we embrace those standards and build on top of them to create this concept of a digital twin, which is, I think now everybody is realizing the outcomes they can extract from those digital twins, the savings, the safety, the visibility and the control of the construction projects and the design phase, and now operations as well, is truly delivering that value. So I think this is good teamwork, and I'm looking forward to see how we're going to take that digital thread, that golden thread, even further as we define what's next after IFC, IDS, and now how do we create that communication space across the whole life cycle of the asset with all the participants.
Yeah, and I know that you personally are very passionate about open source and open standards and things, and how does this influence the way you think about Bentley's vision for developing technology to support the industry we have here? Because we have a pretty broad group of professionals that represent our industry.
Yeah. So as we create those digital twins, I'm convinced that they're going to be lasting for long. They should last for as long as the infrastructure asset really, right? And making such a substantial investment in your data requires that you can be feeling confident that you will retain access to that data. You will be able to continue leveraging it in the future. So there's open standards to make sure that you understand the data, how it's structured, how you can leverage it. But there's also making sure that you have the tools and the components to be able to work with the data. And that's where open source comes into play, right? And this has been a key foundation for us from the start when we started creating this platform to create digital twins, that it has to be using open standards as much as possible. We tried bringing our own contribution to that world, but it's as you know, it's not easy to create a standard, right? So we have our own proposals to that. What matters is that they are truly open in every sense of the world. And we also have this open source approach. And now we're taking this even further by making sure that this platform we have created around openness, around this idea of the digital twin that lives together with the real asset, is something we're going to start integrating in all of our products. And that reconnects to this topic of the golden thread, where I truly believe that the core of our strategy is around uniting our product portfolio around the creation of those digital twins without too much of an effort from the users. Because, I mean, they're all under a lot of pressure. There's not enough civil engineers. There's a lot of investment in infrastructure. There's not enough, there's a lot of pressure from the climate change events as well. So making it easier for them to build those digital twins using standards and leveraging the benefit from the golden thread is crucial to us. And it has to be funded on open stacks.
And I think we heard earlier a little bit around the challenges around data quality as well. So we have to, as an industry as well, recognize that we need to work on the development of a good quality information that is represented in models so that software vendors can continue to innovate to add the additional value to these organizations.
Indeed. But how do you check for quality, right? I mean, that's one of the key aspects. So one of the key challenge we faced for the past months and years is how do we help the engineers do faster and better work with higher quality with our tools? And we're convinced that one of the ways to do that is to leverage new technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning. And if you want to do that, you need to let the data flow, right? Because you have a lot of tools that you can bring to bear to ensure the quality or to improve the quality. But you need to make the data available to those tools so that they can contribute to that, like running simulations, analyzing the structure, trying to assess the carbon footprint of a design that you're generating, and being able to bring that feedback as early as possible in the design process is going to raise the quality. It should not be only quality that is like punitive, if you'd like you say, you have to match this, and that. It has to happen for sure. But how can you go above and beyond that by bringing the data and the tools to the table and make them contribute to that?
Yeah, I think you make a really good point there, and I think we do need to focus on the added value quality beyond the punitive, as you mentioned as well. So I think we're working on that as well at buildingSMART, which is great. Maybe I can ask you to look into a sort of lens to the future. Where do you think we might be in 12 months? We've talked a bit about the progress we feel we've seen the industry make. Where do you think in the next 12 months we might be, or even, stargaze a bit further if possible?
I didn't expect that in 12 months would have made so much progress. So now I'll have to raise my level of expectations, right? So if we're looking into the future, I'm truly convinced that this idea of the golden thread is something that will have to be highly federated, right? I mean, a lot of the conversations we've had around those 4 days is our users have their data in different platforms from different vendors, and open standards is a way to make sure that those platforms can communicate with each other. And I'm really curious to see how we can reinforce that message to say we're creating that golden thread, which in my keynote I was calling more of a golden braid or a golden rope, where you have a lot of threads mixing and weaving into each other. And a lot of that will be through the interoperability between different platforms. I think we have a lot to do there still, right? Because we cannot realistically hope that everybody is going to put all of their data in our platform, or that all vendors are going to be developing their own products using our open digital twin platform. So we have to make sure we're able to federate.
But I think we're seeing a change in the way that, there doesn't seem to be this story in the industry now that vendors want to take all of the data. They're looking to work with other organizations, to partner, to make that federation happen. So I think that's becoming very clear at our events now, that people feel much more comfortable and confident with the way that this is being structured. And I think this is going to really benefit projects.
I agree. And in the end, that golden thread, that digital twin is a construct that you build on top of the data threads, the data foundation, which is maybe across different vendors and different platforms. But it's truly the idea that you have to be able to federate and bring that data in a construct that is going to allow you to achieve the outcomes you're looking for. And that's where I would like us to get. So our contribution to that would be that we want all of our products to be creating that data granularity, that data accessible golden thread, and expose all of our APIs, embrace standards, so IFC obviously, but we're pushing for other standards as well. We're trying to use the 3D tiles that Cesium have been creating. We are very involved in the OGC conversation to define standards around GIS, around geoscience, around geotechnical data, etc. So we need to be looking at the whole panel, the 360 view, try to use those standards as much as possible so everybody feels comfortable that they're using our tools, that data is available, they can weave it with other platforms, and they can build those constructs that will bring so much advancements to their workflows.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here, and we look forward to next time.
Thanks again for having me. Looking forward to 2025.
Thank you.